Hey guys, Mav here. I have some very important stuff showing up for the Tacoma. We are getting a lot of the parts in to actually get this thing lifted. It's very exciting, but just wanted to show you I went with the Fox Elite Series coilovers and the rear shocks, and these also are from AccuTune, so they're a custom valve to the truck, which is super cool. And then I ended up going with the Element, or not, formerly known Element hard parts, now Elevate suspension. It's their uniball upper control arms with their kind of proprietary, that's the word, proprietary, jeez, inner pivot bushing. So they're supposed to be squeak free, maintenance free, and they have a lifetime warranty on them as well. So I've had Icon upper control arms, I've had BTF fabrication upper control arms, and they all have polyurethane inner pivot bushings. And even if you grease them on a pretty good maintenance routine, they're still going to get pretty squeaky. So I'm kind of excited to see how these guys are going to do. And then I was debating going back and forth between going from a standard ball joint to an actual uniball. And I ended up just going with the uniball because it's kind of what I've only ever had on any of my vehicles. I had the Icon upper control arms that were uniball, and then the BTF fabs that were uniball. So now staying with these. The one thing I do recommend using if you are getting uniball upper control arms is the CRC dry PTFE dry lube. I'll actually throw this in the description. It's an Amazon link to actually get this. It's really good for keeping your uniball greased, but not allowing moisture to actually get into the uniball and create dirt buildup. And I've used this on all of my vehicles and it works really well. The only thing I did not want to pick up and put on the truck is the leaf springs. Those are from Deaver U402s. They're the stage 2 setup, so it's good to 400 to 600 pounds. And then I have a few other boxes of stuff sitting here. We have hammer hangers from Archive Garage. So those are going to be replacing the factory leaf spring hangers. Cam tab gussets, spindle gussets. Okay, so why did I go with Fox suspension? I have had Bilstein suspension, I have had King suspension, I've had Icon suspension. So the kind of next route was, let's try out Fox. Let's see how everybody likes Fox suspension. And it comes factory on a ton of different vehicles. I know a lot of Jeeps come factory with Fox suspension, new Ford Raptors. And so this was kind of the more logical step to kind of try out Fox for the first time. And I think this is going to be a pretty wicked upgrade because on the reservoirs themselves, at least on the Elite series, which is actually Fox's newer series, it's an aluminum body versus a steel body. And I think some different stuff's in the shafts or whatever. I don't really know everything that's in it. But this does have dual speed compression, the DSC adjustments. You have a low speed and high speed compression, which is super cool. So I'm excited to play around with that and kind of see how that's going to work for me. The original plans for the Tacoma was actually do the Archive Garage relocations for the rear shocks, so I could run a 12-inch travel shock in the rear. But I think for what I'm going to be using the Tacoma for, it kind of just made more sense to stick with the factory mounting locations with these shocks and keep it a little bit more simple rather than going crazy with the relocation kit, because I feel like with the 4Runner it was almost a little overbuilt for what I wanted to use it for in the vehicle that I needed. So Tacoma, I'm kind of taking a step back and keeping it a little more simple, just a standard mid-travel setup using the factory mounted shock locations. So the only things that I'm really waiting on still is the DuraBump bump stops for the front and rear, and DuraBump's U-bolt flip kit for the leaf springs in the rear. And then I'll have everything to actually get the suspension installed and get this thing lifted finally. So it'll be really nice to get this truck lifted and get the wheels and tires put on and see a huge transformation in this truck and actually be able to take it out on some harder trails and actually get to use the Tacoma. But I will be attempting to install everything myself, be it leaf springs, the shocks, the coilovers in the front, the upper control arms. The only stuff I won't be doing myself will be the spindle gussets, cam tab gussets, and then also have the cab mount chop plates. But I think I am going to actually have to do just a full relocation for the cab mount up front because I am going to be running 35s on the Tacoma, and I just don't think there's going to be enough room. Even with cutting it back enough, those tires are going to be too big. That's still going to rub on the body mount. I'm excited to get the Tacoma lifted. If you knew me during the time of having the 3rd gen 4Runner, it was kind of bittersweet selling the 4Runner and watching it go, but it's on to the next chapter of the Tacoma, and I'm excited to get this thing lifted and capable to take me on the adventures that I want to use it for. So if you enjoy this type of content, if you're a Tacoma person, Toyota person, subscribe down below, hit the like button for some comments, questions, concerns, whatever. I love to answer them and get back to you. But yeah, stay tuned for the install video of all the suspension and everything. Trying to see if I can make it as formative as I can, but I'm just an average Joe, gonna be just doing it here in the driveway, so see see how that goes. But anyways, we will catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.